It's the Let's Go Eat and Drink Show with Jimmy Santangelo and Bill Allred. I'm your announcer, Zach Caton, and the boys are live on tape from Beehive Distilling, 2245 Southwest Temple Street in Salt Lake City. They get the Beehive story from founders Erik and Chris about how they grew from making gin in a rundown 1,200 square foot warehouse to 10,000 square feet dedicated to distilling, barrel aging, and canned cocktails. And we get to meet the Beehive cat Gimlet. And now, Jimmy and Bill.
Drove all the way from the studio to here on West Temple. Yeah. I love driving through that ballpark neighborhood.
I wish they would do something with it because it's nice.
Yeah.
It's got some old architecture
And it's got crime.
and it's got a really high crime rate.
Still haven't decided what they're going to do with the ballpark, I don't think. La 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 la.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with there were a lot of designs.
I don't think they know.
We were talking to the mayor about that briefly. It's a lot of...
Talking to your mom about that.
Nah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a joke. It's an old joke, and it's an old joke that was going through my head the other day. I heard this joke years and years and years ago. It's about how to catch polar bears. You know this joke?
No.
So polar bears, if you're not familiar, are very fond of peas. So how you catch a polar bear is you go to the ice and you cut a big hole in the ice there, and then you ring it with peas. And then when the polar bear comes up to take a pee, you kick him in the ice hole.
That's why Chris knew that one.
I just love that joke. It's just so simple.
It's a good one.
So simple, so stupid. And then there's one other.
It's kid friendly too.
Two, yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
Two polar bears, or two penguins, standing on an iceberg, and one penguin says to the other, "You know, you look like you're wearing a tuxedo." And the other penguin says, "Who's to say I'm not?" Now, I don't know why I like that joke. Who's to say I'm not?
Who's to say I'm not?
All right, let's get this show on the damn road, shall we?
Yeah, do you want some ice?
These are frosty cold.
These are really.
They cold?
Are they as cold as can be? All right, let's
Cold
drink.
as can be.
Let's drink them. It's Beehive Distilling is where we are. I get this weird feeling of deja vu. I don't know. Oh, there's the cat. What's your cat's name again?
Gimlet.
Gimlet, of course. Hi, Gimlet. What a great animal. Gimlet, the house cat here at Beehive Distilling, 22... What is it again? 2245 Southwest Temple, Beehive Distilling, and we're here with two of the founders, the owners. Are we on?
Yep.
Okay.
I promise.
You're sure?
I promise.
Okay, everything's recording.
All right, somebody check his work.
Yeah, somebody check his work. I guess I should say thanks to everybody for tuning in. This isn't radio. They don't tune into anything on a podcast.
They click in.
They open their podcast app and find these things. And those of you who are watching as well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the Let's Go Eat and Drink Show with Jimmy Santangelo and Bill Allred. You know that. And we're here with the founders of Beehive Distilling, two of the founders, Erik Ostling and Chris Barlow. Guys, thanks for being here. Now, a long time ago when I started this podcast, it wasn't with Jimmy.
That's right.
It was just the Let's Go Eat show. I'm sure I had you guys on that at that time, and you were not nearly the gin barons that you have become at that time, were you? You're just getting started, right?
Yeah, that was probably 2014.
It was really early. Yeah, really early.
About 10 years ago, 10, 12 years, a long time anyway. And you had just sort of started with Jackrabbit. Is that right?
Yep.
And Jackrabbit gin was I thought, very unique when I tasted it. And you said that's because of the sagebrush. Is that correct?
The sage.
Sage.
Yeah, sage.
Well, is that different from sagebrush?
We just use culinary sage.
Oh, okay. You don't go out and
Don't go out and
Wild harvest.
harvest it yeah.
With the rabbits.
In the
Yeah.
parking lot kind of thing, yeah.
Jackrabbit, and was that your inaugural gin?
That was our first product.
Yeah. And now, how many products do you have?
Oh, geez, we've got 3 gins as of now. So we have the Jackrabbit, we have Decade Dry, which is kind of a Asian-influenced flavor profile, and then we have Barrel Reserve, which is our aged gin. We just dropped, in fact, a 4-year-old bourbon.
Really?
Just seriously, like this week.
And
that's all in-house.
Don't get too technical with me. When you say we just dropped, what does that mean? What did you do?
We just released it.
Took it out of the barrel and put it in a bottle.
Yeah, so it's available. Is it available in the liquor stores?
Nope, just here for now.
Oh yeah, and here you have a package store, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
And so people want to buy that bourbon, they can come here, and you're open 7 days a week.
5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah,
Okay.
Generally noon to 5.
Okay. So if you want to try that, and it's kind of like having a little liquor store for the neighborhood.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I mean, really, I guess we call this the ballpark neighborhood, and I would think you get neighborhood customers.
Yeah, we have a few fairly regular people from the neighborhood, and it's definitely the place that people come. Or something like a special release, something that's not going to hit the state stores right away.
The bourbon is not going to. How much did you drop? As they say,
only about 20 cases.
20 and what's that? 12 bottles
12
a case.
Yeah.
It's today is the first day. Like
Sure.
I'm going to buy a bottle today. Then.
You want to taste it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah. Of course, I want to taste it.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll taste it and then I'll tell you whether I want to buy a bottle.
Well, that's why.
Try before you buy.
Yeah,
I think that's a very safe approach.
So talk about why you guys got into the gin business.
Well, I think we all came from kind of advertising, photography backgrounds. Chris and I just had a little chat one day about the successes that we'd seen like High West have. And we just kind of got intrigued, and he had some time on his hands at that point, took some classes in distilling and just set about the licensing. But it was really just kind of a lot of times we'd have a couple drinks after work, that is, before dinner. And in the course of that, we just became really interested in the industry. And
it was sort of a hobby, though, at first, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, there's no such thing as distilling as a hobby legally, so no. But it was a small business venture. I mean, we had a little bit of a plan, and really what we wanted to do was just kind of see if there would be any kind of purchase, like if we would actually be able to make it viable. So we started off very, very small, 1,500 square feet of space. We're in 10,000 right now.
This is a great space here.
It's massive.
Too.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Huge.
So a very big difference. The original space was, we would do tours there, and you'd have 15 people, and it was just jammed.
What year
to your left.
What year did you start?
2013 was the idea. We were on the shelves in 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
And as you think back on it, do you look around now and go, "Wow"? I mean, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it's like anything. You progress. I mean, if you take a deep breath and a moment of pause, makes me feel pretty happy for sure.
Is it fun?
Yes, I would say for the most part it's fun. It is business.
Yeah.
And so
It is a business.
It's a business, but it's definitely not the worst business to be in. So
So when you started Beehive Distilling, did you both kind of keep your other jobs for a while as well? No.
I did.
You did.
Yeah, I did. But Chris was pretty full time from the get go.
You just jumped right in.
Yeah.
And you kept your photography business to a
Kept the
point.
photography business, yeah.
I'm guessing you don't do that anymore.
Not much. No,
Yeah.
very little.
Yeah, you'll take family reunion pictures.
Oh my God, no.
He's moved into the senior portrait realm.
Mostly senior portraits and weddings.
Baby photography with
No.
puppies.
No.
Cheers, by the way, for we're trying the bourbon here.
Yeah, cheers.
Give me the story of the bourbon a bit, if you would. What?
That's going to be Chris.
Yeah, so this one we started almost 5 years ago, finding corn. So we're actually using a Oaxacan green corn that's grown here in Utah for us, and Hazlitt rye and malted barley.
Where do they grow it?
We started out, we were down in Monroe. Now we're up by Bear River City.
And you contract with a farmer who has a plot of land up there, say, grow this corn for us. You bet, I'll do it for a price. And
Yeah, I got about 30,000 pounds from, what would it be, 2023 summer.
What is your Oaxacan green corn? I mean, compared to what I know is I get corn on the cob, yellow corn.
The yellow sweet corn. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's more of a kind of heirloomy, central Mexico, a lot drier climate.
Can you eat it on like regular corn? Do you know?
I bet you could. We never have.
I think you can. I think you'd probably grind it and make.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's field corn, so it's not
similar
this
to
sweet.
Similar to the blue corn that we also have them grow that you'd get like blue corn chips with.
Yeah, but it's not. So it's not. You said sweet. It's not sweet. That's what corn on the cob is. Sweet corn.
Sweet corn.
Yeah, you're always looking for like Olathe corn or
it's a dent
River
corn.
City corn.
Just for a little corn sidetrack here, I don't understand people's penchant for wanting the salt and pepper. The white yellow combo. I like good yellow corn on the cob, and sometimes it's hard to find. I just want that good yellow corn. It's meaty and sweet and great stuff. Love it. Beehive Distilling. Well, this is delicious stuff. What's the proof on the bourbon?
94.
92.
Yeah?
I always say it wrong.
It's lovely stuff. And how much is it for a bottle?
$44.99.
$44.99. I think I'll take one home with me if I can purchase one, can't I?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
It's after 11.
And we also, of course, been sampling some other Beehive products. When did you get into the canned cocktails? The Mule, the Ricky, and when did you get into it? And how did you see that as developing? Were other people doing it before you, and you thought it's a good idea? What's going on with that?
So we were the first can on the shelves locally.
Were you?
So I think the influence came from seeing the success maybe that Copper Can had. That's a national brand. Mm-hmm. When I was much younger, there was a canned cocktail. I can't remember. I think they were called club cocktails. They came in a little half can. And
I kind of remember that.
And they're not something you really should drink, but they existed for a long time. So there was a little bit of influence there, but I think we definitely saw a trend with canning happening. So. And
so let's jump on it and make our own and
that was
2018,
18 or so. Yeah.
Do you make all of that here?
Yep.
Yep.
You do the so it's like a grape gin Ricky. Is it grape or?
Yeah, we didn't do the grape. The grape influence comes generally from Arctic Circle, I believe.
That's right.
So this is a lime. It's a lime Ricky.
Okay.
Gin Ricky's a classic old school gin cocktail.
Yeah, and it seems to me that Arctic Circle did have a gin Ricky without alcohol. A lime Ricky.
Oh yeah, it's a mainstay. I think. Yeah.
That and the brown topper, and you're
set to go.
Gourmet stuff.
Yes.
And so you bring in lime juice and you mix it with you mix it yourself. It's your recipe.
Yep, we got a couple bright tanks in the back, 3,000 liter bright tanks. We'll mix up batches. We've got actually a batch of Mule and a batch of Ricky back there cooling right now. Just have a recipe. You build it out. You crash cool it. You force carb it just like you do beer. And run it through the canning line.
That's it's amazing. And you can it here as well?
Yeah, we do. We get about 8,400 cans a run.
That's pretty good. I know there are people who kind of outsource that sort of thing.
Yeah.
They'll maybe make the liquid, but then they say we can't can it. You guys go balls out here at Beehive.
Do it all.
Especially when it's hot.
Yeah. Gotta air the junk, man.
I need cheese.
Oh, geez. We're having some delicious Beehive cheese here. No relation other than the name. Beehive cheese. You've heard me read the copy for Beehive cheese many, many times. I don't think I'm going to do it this time, but we'll just thank you.
No, yeah, they're a great sponsor. This is their porcini dusted cheese.
Ask.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
mushroom.
It's really good.
So they do a nice stuff.
I have not tasted any Beehive cheese that I did not like.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah.
No, that's really true.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you go into the liquor store now, and there are local products everywhere. Have you ever done? I think it would be interesting, and although I don't, maybe foolhardy, have you ever done or do people do a sampling contest where let's sit down with a bunch of different mules that are canned locally, and see which one do you like the best?
I don't think we haven't done anything like that. I mean, we do occasionally. You're at events where there'll be 4 or 5 local brands, and people are doing tastings at the events. But in terms of any kind of formal sit-down comparison, no, I don't.
They're not competitions. That's what the word I was looking for.
I think it's a little. Yeah, it's just different that way. I think.
It's a small market too, so you don't have a ton of them. But you do
Right.
have. There's that annual festival, the Brew Distillery.
Yeah, Brew
so that'll
Distillery.
give you an opportunity to kind of
Yeah.
check some things out.
Yeah, exactly. Slug Magazine does that.
Oh, that's coming right up. It might be this weekend.
It's Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's Saturday.
Yeah. So when you taste other people's product, do you go, we're better, or do you go? Sometimes do you go, hey, maybe we ought to,
I think definitely both.
Both.
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
there are people that are putting out some really impressive stuff here, and so, I mean, you have to give credit. I think
Why is it that every time I talk to you folks who are brewers, there are so many, just craft beer people now in Salt Lake and in Utah, but there are a lot of distillers now too. A lot of you guys,
Yeah.
and you all seem to be pretty friendly and let's make this great for everybody. And
I think we support each other.
it's so antithetical to the way I think. There are fucker. That's right. There are lots of other radio shows
That DJ
and morning
sucks.
shows, and there have been over the years. And the minute one comes into town, I say, "I'm going to kill those sons of bitches. Fuck you." You're not gonna.
It's all about market share, right?
That's right. They're going to take food off of my
so
kids'
many
plate.
listeners out there.
They're not going to take food off my kids' plate. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, when I experienced tasting with these guys, Chris and Erik, it's almost like when you were assessing a product, whether it's local or otherwise, it's like you're trying to figure out how they made it or what the mash bill is or what some of the treatment is. It's almost like you're more analytical, more objective rather than I really like this or I don't like this. That's not the initial response at all that I notice.
Yeah, I think it's pretty. I think giving other people credit for the work that they've put in is important, and that's I think certainly. I mean, there is an interest in it. If somebody's making something good.
That's a good sound, by the way.
that
That's a great sound.
Yeah, no, I
That's a
like
good
that.
sound.
Mhm.
That's welcome anytime. But you're right. I love that you recognize that with your competitors and other products. Because I taste you on stuff all the time whenever I'm doing my events.
Right.
And it's just you're trying to assess how they did it or what how much rye they're using in that whiskey or something of that nature.
Yeah, you lose. I mean, you learn a lot just through the tasting process and seeing what other people are doing. I mean, I think you had something that was pretty spectacular from New Zealand.
Yeah.
That I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's
Kinda
incredible.
cool.
So yeah.
You know what I think is great is that you, for instance, the bourbon that you've done, but with your gins as well, you didn't go to another go to some whiskey place in Kentucky and buy a bunch of different whiskeys and then blend them up and put your label on them.
Yeah, not for this one. We didn't.
Yeah.
What local distiller does that in Utah, up in Park City?
I didn't want to mention the name. I had a friend who just hated that particular distillery because he says they don't distill anything. They just mix things up and put labels on them, and he hated that. He said they should do their own stuff.
They make a great product. So I mean, that's I think. They were the first, I guess, second license in state.
First license.
First license in state. So
we're talking High West.
They broke a ton of ground. They do have an amazing team up there. I mean, they've got great people. Oh. And I'm personally
great product, and they won. They got bought by the big guys.
Mm-hmm. They have an excellent product, and I think that. I know people will always snipe on stuff, but they have great product.
Somebody did explain to me after, so my friend who didn't like them because of that, and then somebody else explained, it might have been Jimmy Santangelo. There's an art.
That freaking guy.
Yeah, that guy. I can't stand him, by the way. I don't.
Donuts.
Anytime I see him, I just want to punch him. Oh, hi, Jimmy.
Is that why he looks like that?
Yeah. He's got just a punchable face.
Great face for radio.
Yeah. But somebody explained to me there's an art in mixing these things the right way.
Yeah, blending
blending the spirits and coming up with something that's good and that people enjoy, and then there's a lot to just putting it in a fancy looking bottle and figuring out the labels. And I look at your stuff. You guys are both creative in terms of graphic design and arts and photography. This must be a satisfying part of the job to you guys too, to help to kind of design the look of the bottles and the cans and all of that.
Yeah, Matt does it, and we're like, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Is he the guy who's really, really good at it?
No, he's the designer. Yeah, for sure.
And this is a new packaging. This is a second generation packaging with the beehive, the honeycomb or whatever that was on the bottle, on the shoulder of the bottle. That looks really sharp. Yeah,
it does. It's just very nice. And you can tell if there's thought put into that. Hopefully, there's thought. You would think there's thought put into the product that goes in it. That's it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's very excellent. Let's see. Let me ask you a question about Gimlet the cat, because we say Gimlet, and people may recognize that as a drink, a gin-based drink, really old-fashioned cocktail, right?
The best gin-based drink.
That's
really is
Chris's favorite drink.
Okay, so tell people what a gin gimlet is.
Basically, 1.5 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce of lime, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, shaken, double strained into a chilled coupe.
Beautiful.
Happiness.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
1-to-1. I like that.
I've always been a gin fan because of gin martinis. I like gin martinis.
I do too.
Vodka martinis. I always think vodka is a spirit for people who don't really like the way alcohol tastes.
I think you're right. Or they think that they won't smell like they've been drinking.
Yeah.
So
which is absolutely not true.
It's not true. No.
My dad was been out with a vodka in the garden, haven't you, Dad? Right. Shut up. Get out of the way. Yeah, it's time for dinner. So that's the Gimlet. And let's see, are there any other questions I need to ask you about?
And Gimlet has a heck of an Instagram following, doesn't?
Oh no,
doesn't she?
She's probably got more fans than we do. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So just if you want to see Gimlet the cat, who's very, the 2 or 3 times I've been around Gimlet, a chill creature.
She's real good to getting looked at.
Yeah.
Petting, not so much.
Don't pick her up.
Oh well.
Okay.
Only family can pick her up.
I have a cat at home like that who Klaus is his name. He only wants to be pet, and if you start petting him the wrong way, he'll bite you.
Yeah, just stop.
Even I've never hurt him. But I'll be petting him, and all of a sudden he'll go. and
You
bite at
start
me.
doing it wrong.
That's the beauty
That's
of
right. You're doing it wrong now.
Duh.
I was married to a person like that too.
She'd bite you if you were doing it wrong.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Let's see, Jimmy Santangelo. How about a little splash of news?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We have some splash of news here. And I knew that you guys were going to do some canned cocktails, so I pulled a little news from why does canned wine smell like rotten eggs sometimes, right? A group of researchers at Cornell University conducted a series of experiments to characterize the chemical makeup of commercial wines and figured out why sometimes that egg smell happens in canned wines. The article initial was focused defining what the problem compound was, where it was a corrosion and some off aromas. The question was, why in canned wines but not canned sodas? So, because we don't get that smell on a canned soda. It's the sulfur dioxide, which winemakers routinely use as an antioxidant and antimicrobial. Interacting in aluminum, it produces hydrogen sulfide, the source of the unpleasant smell. So the team just determined the solution was using smaller amounts of sulfur dioxide in the wine produced, and using thicker epoxy liners in the cans could eliminate the foul scent should that occur. I just thought this was super interesting because you're not using any sulfur dioxide in any of your product for a stabilizer or anything?
Does it have to have a preservative at all?
We have a little bit in them, but we got a high alcohol content,
Yeah, so
high acidic content. So
Nice. And then finally, one thing, and that's your splash of news, but in relevant news here in the state, I got a little gin Ricky in my palate here.
Did you get some of it up your snoot?
I think I did. Canned cocktails are now allowed in bars and restaurants. Yeah, they can serve it.
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Have you been seeing restaurants reaching out at all, or have you seen any movement in that front?
There's certainly some hotels in town that are carrying our cans now.
Nice.
So that's a really great step to see that.
And if you want to try any of this stuff, that almost all of it, except for the new bourbon, is in state liquor stores. But if you want to try the bourbon, you can come here to the package store, 2245 Southwest Temple is where that is. Beehive Distilling, open Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Noon to 5. Yeah.
Noon to 5.
Noon to 5.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
No, that's correct.
Usually
That is
the person who runs it shows up, and
Yeah,
usually
that is correct.
And if you're looking for a job working at a package store, maybe you want to contact.
Looking for
Pop
one
in.
Beehive Distilling.
reliable person would be great.
Yeah. This is great stuff. Find the products at the liquor store or come and buy it here. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Oh, I had one other item. Anything you guys want to add to what we've been? I mean, it's just pleasurable talking to you and just shooting the shit.
A lot of people ask me. I have a question for you that I'll pass on because people ask me, how wide is your distribution footprint? It's here, of course, in the state of Utah. How big is your distribution footprint?
I mean, really, right now, I'd say we're a pretty local brand. We're in Oregon. We're in a little bit in Montana. It's just not significant numbers.
It makes you regional. That makes you regional, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, we'll say regional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. With plans to go as big as you can.
Probably not as big as we can. That sounds stressful.
It'd be nice
Sounds
to
like a lot of work.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fucking
does.
work.
All right. Before we go, we
I'm
have
gonna be on the roof fixing the glycol chiller every day if that's the case.
Yeah, bigger would be okay, but not as big as we can, I don't think.
come to this place, and do you let people come and look around in here if they want? I mean, when they come to buy something, say,
Yeah.
you can look around.
Yeah, you can certainly look
If
around.
they
there's-
buy stuff and are nice.
Yes, you have to buy something, and then you can look around.
Another bottle will even be nice to you.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's some great art on the walls. There's great art on the outside of the building.
Yeah, that's something that I'd like to. I mean, South Salt Lake does the Mural Fest every year, and we've been fortunate enough to participate in that twice, which is why we have the art on the walls out there. And I just think that's a fantastic program. This area, this part of town is on the rise, and they've really done a great job of kind of rejuvenating this neighborhood. So,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, it is. And I drove all the way down South Temple to get here, and from from Broadway, from Third South, and it's a great neighborhood, and there's a lot of architecturally significant houses and things along the way.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
I do have a question from a listener. We say if you would like to submit a question, you can do that. You can email us to the Let's Go Eat Show at gmail.com. You can ask a question. You can also, tell us to shut up, or you can swear at us, or tell us how much you want to give us a kiss. But this is a question from Hunter of Midvale. It's a question that says, I'm curious if there's a handy, or I think this is a question for you, Jimmy, a handy, easy rule of thumb for chilling wine in preparation for serving it for a meal cooked at home. I don't have a wine fridge, so I'm just relying on my regular fridge. I also have a preference for varietals of red. Stay care, Hunter of Midvale.
That's a good question. Yeah, your whites, I know it's preferably red. Put your red wine in about 20 minutes into the refrigerator, about 20 minutes in the fridge.
Any red wine?
Pretty much. You just want to get that warmth off the glass, right? When red wines are supposed to be served, and I'm air quoting here, at room temperature, but room temperature was established without fancy HVAC systems and air conditioning systems that we have today. So it's about 59 to 60 degrees that you want your red wine served at. So a 20-minute in the fridge will do you good. Your white wine, you want to just put in overnight, a few hours, things like that. Generally, we drink our whites too cold and our reds too warm. So these are two nice little rules of thumb to use.
And you really shouldn't put your vodka and your gin in the freezer, should you?
No, it'll mute those nice subtle flavors. That's why people, when they put in their vodka in the fridge or the freezer and they drink, and they're like, it's so smooth, and it's because all those harsh connotation characteristics are
It doesn't
muted.
Taste like anything. It's just cold, and it makes my nose feel funny.
You put your shitty drinks in the freezer.
Yeah. That's if it's bad quality, go ahead and put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
The cheap handle of vodka or gin, put it in the freezer. That's fine.
Right
A
next
whole
to the
handle in the
frosé.
freezer. Next to the frosé. That's
He's
right.
got like the lift up one that has the body in there. He scoots the leg over and drops his
Well, I mean,
gallon
when
in.
you don't have anything else in your freezer, it's fine.
Bodies and vodka.
Thank you so much, Erik Ostling and Chris Barlow. I could probably do this once a week because you guys are really fun to talk to.
Eric's got time, man. He
I'm
loves this
around.
shit.
I'm always here.
We should talk.
If you guys
He's
want to
between
swing
12
by,
and 5. He's
I'm
here.
lonely.
I'm a little lonely, so-
Come by, I'm lonely. Please come by and talk to me.
and you will soon realize why.
All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us here, Erik, and thanks, Erik Ostling, Chris Barlow, Beehive Distilling, 2245 Southwest Temple. Come and buy stuff and look for it in the liquor stores, the fine canned cocktails and Beehive Gin. That's about it. Jimmy Santangelo, thanks so much.
You got it. Thank you.
You can find Jimmy at wineacademyofutah.com. Don't look for me. I won't answer. That's it. Sayonara.
All right, hit stop on record.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Let's Go Eat and Drink Show with Jimmy Santangelo and Bill Allred. Comments, questions, or angry complaints to the management should be directed to the Let's Go Eat Show at gmail.com. The Let's Go Eat and Drink Show is produced by Dawson Dow. The Let's Go Eat and Drink theme was composed and performed by Doug Wild. I'm Zach Caton. All this gin talk, you know what I need to do? I'm going to go home and make me a blue lady. A little bit of that Beehive Distilling gin, a little bit of blue curacao, some lemon juice, an egg white if you're fancy. Tastes great, looks like the water at a mini golf course. Win-win if you ask me.